evening or afternoon or morning, depending on where you are and what time you're watching. My name is Aniqua, and I'm the artist, the designer behind My Kind of Thing, a handmade company that specializes in one-of-a-kind handmade dolls, particularly dolls of color, and even more specifically, black and brown dolls. My mission statement is to promote pride and confidence in children of color with a specific focus on black girls in efforts to combat self hate. Um, I know it's been a while, and I haven't done What You Value Wednesday in a while. Um, it's been a lot going on, and I have to admit it's been quite difficult to function normally. It's been really, really hectic. I'm based here in New York City, and with all the various things that have been happening from the pandemic to the um, police brutality protests and the incidents occurring randomly in places in New York City and the curfew, it has been a very interesting existence here in New York City. Uh, Slowly trying to normalize or get back to, I don't want to say normalize, but trying to get back to um, just the things that are important, um, including things that are now at the forefront. Um, we probably won't be able to operate um, uh, business as usual because of these things that are occurring. So today's topic, or this evening's topic, or whatever time it is when you're watching this, is uh, it's What You Value Wednesday, digital value, hypothetical worth, and symbolic solidarity. Um, I came up with these three terms because I've been noticing a lot of different things happening, and it has been an emotional roller coaster depending on who you are and what you do and how you function. Um, I'll say it again: digital value, hypothetical worth, and symbolic solidarity. Um, I'm going to start with digital value and hypothetical worth because it is What You Value Wednesday. And one of the goals of What You Value Wednesday is to discuss those things that we deem important as artists, as creatives, and now, more currently, for me, from the perspective of a black creative. Digital value and hypothetical worth. The reason why I mention this is because um, I kind of feel like it's like it's not real. It's not very tangible per se. Meaning, um, you can have a whole bunch of followers, and you can have a whole bunch of people that maybe watch and maybe even respond or comment or even engage in conversations with you, but it doesn't necessarily equate to anything of value per se. Just because you have all these eyes on you doesn't mean that what you say is valuable or useful or helpful. And so we have to be mindful of what we call valuable. That's one of the cool things about What You Value Wednesday. Um, Digital value, meaning, especially in this digital age where everything is online, social media, we have to be mindful not to be tricked into thinking that that digital value automatically validates who you are and what you do. Don't fall for the okie doke. That is digital value. It is not something necessarily that you can touch or that other people can touch, depending on who you are and what you do. That's not to say that all influencers are full of crap. And that just means don't assume because the numbers are what the numbers are that means anything tangible. Same thing with hypothetical worth. Hypothetical worth is similar. And again, you have to be mindful as artists, as creatives, not to get sucked up in this hypothetical, false belief of worth. How valuable is your skill set? What exactly is the value of what you do? And how do you use that value to mean something real? Something real. Not hypothetical, not digital, something that people can actually use and apply, right? It's not enough to just put on a show or a display, right? Especially now. I think some of us are getting tired. I have to admit, one of the reasons why I haven't been on is because it's heavy. It's heavy. Um, I am a doll maker. My goal has always been to, through crochet doll making, to promote pride and confidence. My goal has always been to create positive imagery, to create imagery depicting black people, black children as a black person. So when you get or when you see what I create, you understand that it comes from an authentic place, an authentic space. It's not secondhand information or a secondhand version of what someone thinks, we should, how someone thinks we should be represented. This is the perspective of an actual black mind, black body, black person living the life of a black person, right? And so all of that leads me to the third word, symbolic solidarity. With everything that's going on, I think we've moved past symbolism. I think that, unfortunately, we've been using symbolic solidarity to placate serious situations. I think that symbolic solidarity has been the reason why things have gotten to what we see today. I find myself as a black artist, as a black creative, being mindful of trying really hard. And I've always been this way, but even more so now. And if you are a black creative, you be mindful in times like this that you are not a tool to push an idea that is not real, a token. And now in these times, it's easy to be an advanced version of a token, meaning before you could just be seen. And if you're included as a spot of color in a sea of white, then, you think you made it. The rest of us think that because you've been included, that this company or this corporation is okay. Be mindful. It's a balancing act, because black dollars are important. We've always known that. But coupled with the pandemic and all of the things that are happening, some of these big companies that are widely supported by black dollars are in danger. And they know they're in danger, and because they know they're in danger, they are concerned. And they're going to say that they stand with you. They're going to symbolically say that they stand with you. And they may not necessarily change any practices. The decision makers are still not going to be diverse or reflect the people whose money they continuously take and get rich off of. It is our job as creatives, as black creatives, to pay attention. They sweating you now, but be mindful and make sure that if they sweating you now, you understand what the deal is, right? So with that being said, I actually have to shout out some of the people that was rocking with me before all of this, which allows me to understand that it's cool because people or companies like Simply Crochet Magazine provided me with an opportunity beforehand, and saw the importance of what I do beforehand. There are people that just rock with you because you're dope. And I think that's important. And I think that those people that understand that dopeness wins, you know, those are the kind of people you want to rock with, right? So, that being said, digital value, hypothetical worth, symbolic solidarity. We are past symbolism. You know, you can say anything you want to say, but what are you doing? And I'm not here to point fingers and ask specifically what everybody's doing, because that's not really my business either, right? However, if we are to work with people, and if people are to want to start snatching us up because we're trending now, um, and not any other reason other than to keep a hold on the black dollars and use some of us as tools to push and promote, you got to be careful. We got to be careful, right? So there is a difference between having a seat at the table and actually being a valid, significant dinner guest, right? We've had this conversation about influence and about, you know, uh, the conversation. What last year was widely diversity, right? And we talked about diversity until we ran that thing into the ground. And I don't know how many people implemented change. I don't know how much of that hit ears that had the power to change things. Um, but a lot of people got upset. And I shouldn't have been surprised with how many people got upset recently with some of the things. I have to be honest. Some of these things were just still surprising to see, to know. Um, it's still surprising to see how many people are just so against something as simple as equality. You know, it just blows my mind how many people are really against equality, how many people are really unable to to see the evidence of things occurring that have been occurring since slavery ended. It's amazing to me. It's one of the reasons why I've always been a proud promoter of pride amongst black people. It's rough out here, and y'all don't even. It's amazing how many people just can really say it's a myth that doesn't exist. It's not a thing. It bugs me out. I still can't get over it. And just being valued sometimes. So can I just say thank you for all of you that have supported my kind of thing from the very beginning, from May 2013, 7 years in operating. The vision comes to fruition every day through creating custom doll designs, creating patterns, teaching courses so that other crocheters can learn these exclusive techniques that celebrate the diversity that exists within being black. And so the question is, what do you bring to the table that we are all trying to get a seat at, right? What exactly is your role at the table? Are you a valued dinner guest? Because some of us have been tricked into thinking that we have a seat at the table, so our opinions and our ideas are valid. And we don't realize that we get this seat at the table and we become nothing more than an echo of everything else that's happening. So you don't really bring any diversity to the situation. All you do is you bring your body, you bring the optics, but you don't really bring any change or any new ideas or any new perspectives. And I made this point about making black versions of things and how I can't figure out the word right now. There is a word, but how I guess diminishing it is, you know, to say, oh, we're not going to tell any new stories. We're just going to tell the same stories, but we're going to put a black face or a black body on it. You know, that's a problem. That's a problem. And some of us are guilty of wanting to see the same old things, but in black. And that's not a good idea. right? Think about your role, where you are. Does it help or does it hurt? You know, there are so many ways in which we can get involved in the betterment of African American people. It's not just protesting. It's not just, um, you know, breaking on, social media. It's about the actual work. It's not even just about talking. What exactly is the gift or the talent or the skill set that you contribute or that you use to contribute to the betterment of black and brown people? That's how we have to consider this, because not everybody's a protester, not everybody's a rioter, not everybody's a lawmaker or a architect of legislation. Some of us are just really talented. You know, we are not all articulate enough to express our anger. Um, we're not all educated enough to approach it from that angle. So your job is to assess where you are and to use that skill set to contribute in some meaningful way, some tangible way, not symbolic, some real way, contribute to this movement. Movement, not trend. It's a movement, which means that when you start to see it die down, you got to pick it back up and make sure people don't forget and understand that this has been a 400-year fight. And if you don't think that that's true, I don't know who you are in this country. It's scary. Um, Being seen and heard means absolutely nothing if that is the extent of your contribution. That's just the facts. Some of us like to be seen and heard all the damn time and never really have anything of importance to contribute or say, or not contribute to say, but contribute to actual change, right? And some of us, the only thing we can do is finger wag. We have nothing else to contribute but to point out who ain't doing it right. And we have to be mindful of that. Um, we can't spend our days policing racism. I'm not going to spend a long amount of time talking about who should have done or where they at, because some people needed to be quiet. Some of us needed to be quiet. Some of us need to be quiet. And I'm going to say us because I'm not specifically saying white people, black people. I'm saying some people just needed to be quiet, because by speaking up about things without properly being informed, you run the risk of showing how much you actually care about what's happening. And usually the outcome is you don't have the right information. You're speaking out of turn, and you're talking about things that you have no real knowledge to speak on. If you don't know, just be quiet. I know that some people are saying silence means that you are for it. No, it doesn't. I need some of y'all to stop spreading that. Sometimes silence means I don't know how to say what I need to do to contribute. There are some people who are reaching out and asking people that they trust what they can do to contribute, how they can support, how they can really be a part of the change. Not symbolic solidarity, but real solidarity that makes real changes happen. Um, it's not my job to inspect your intent. I don't think that we should task ourselves with yet another issue or job. I'm not going to inspect whether or not you care or the level to which you care. I got other things to do. We have other more important things to do. So we're not going to do that. What I will do is I'll be diligent and mindful of the intent that people have when I deal with them, period. We have to be vigilant about who's trying to use us as a tool to keep them black dollars and who's genuinely trying to implement and support change, right? So don't be fooled by the attempts for people to hold on to the black dollar by reaching out to you when they didn't reach out to you beforehand. Or they wasn't checking for you before it was trending. Now it's trending, and now everybody got their fist up because they're worried about them black dollars. Some of these major conglomerates, don't let them fool you. Be mindful, right? And so that's where I'm going to end it for today. It's so funny because technically it's not Wednesday anymore. It is currently 3:49 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. But this has been sort of what my days have been like here at the My Kind of Thing studio. I have really long nights, and there's a little bit of anxiety with being in business at these times. And so I just wanted to make sure y'all understand, and hope y'all understand. I hope I've given you more than words. I hope I've given you something that you can actually use and implement that goes beyond just being articulate and saying things that make you feel good. Thank y'all so much for always supporting My Kind of Thing. And I'm slowly getting back into being able to share with you some of the dope things that I'm doing in the realm of creating positive imagery for children of color. I just want to brag real quick before I end this video though. So y'all see my Kind of Thing 2020 calendar, right? Now I know it's June, and that's fine. But the point is that these thoughts and these feelings have always been a part of the My Kind of Thing initiative. Everything that I do is in the vein of promoting pride and confidence and combating self-hate. The month of June, this is the illustration for the month of June, the Aisha illustration. But what those who have the calendar might notice is that, and if you've had any of my calendars, you'll notice that Juneteenth has always been on the calendar. Emancipation Day has been on from the very first calendar, and it's a big deal. And I think that it's really exciting to see people now acknowledging and understanding that Emancipation Day is a celebration of Black independence. Blacks no longer being slaves, African Americans being freed. It just never sat right with me once I knew what Emancipation Day was for me to celebrate the United States Independence Day. Because my ancestors were not freed in 1776. They didn't teach me that in school. They didn't teach me that even though America gained independence from England, that my ancestors were still slaves. They were still in bondage. So that celebration never applied to me and my ancestors. It's amazing, the things that they don't teach you, and the things that you have to learn outside, and depending on what your parents know will also depend on what you know. I just want to say thank y'all again so much for listening. I know this was long, and usually it's live, but it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't expect to have a live conversation at almost 4 o'clock in the morning. Still have a little bit more work to do, but I'll be seeing you all very, very soon. Thank you so much. Like, share, comment, and support those businesses that you find valuable and useful to the growth and development of all of us. And in my case specifically, Black business owners, Black people, because there is a need. I'll see y'all next time.